We begin with new reporting about immigration arrests and detentions in Washington state. According to InvestigateWest, federal judges across our state found that the government violated the due process rights of more than half of those who were detained. We reached out to the Department of Homeland Security about this report, and they told us in part, quote, all detainees are provided ample opportunity to communicate with their attorneys and family members. To dig more into this story, let's bring in the journalist behind this reporting, Rachel Spesic. Thank you for being here, Rachel.
Thank you for having me.
To start, how did you learn about these judges' rulings, and can you explain what a habeas petition is?
Absolutely. So we've seen reporting across the country that immigrant detainees have been challenging their detention, and they do that through a habeas corpus petition. So these are pretty common in other cases, non-immigrant detainees, and it basically forces the government to justify holding someone in detention. So what many immigrants who are detained are doing is filing habeas corpus petitions to challenge the legality of their detention and to basically ask for the opportunity to have a bond to be let out.
How many cases are we talking about here?
Yes. So in the last year, in 2025, there were over 300 cases filed, and I reviewed 142, and those were 141, and those were the cases that were opened last year and closed last year. And so that is quite a large number when you look at previous years. In 2024, there were only a handful of cases, not even 100. And so these cases definitely spiked last year, and we're continuing actually to see that trend. We've seen a lot of cases filed in January of this year as well.
Well, as you just mentioned, and from your reporting, these legal appeals aren't immediate. How long do people stay in detention while these cases are being argued?
Yeah, so over the last year, the amount of time people have spent in detention has ranged. We saw a case last year where someone spent 7 months in detention. And in some of these cases, people don't realize or don't have the information right when they are detained and are booked in the ICE facility that they do have the opportunity to challenge the legality of their detention. So it takes a little bit of time sometimes for them to file the petition. But yeah, so we saw some 5-6 month length detentions early in the year, and then slowly that has kind of gone down as immigration attorneys are kind of getting in the routine of filing these petitions on behalf of their clients. But it could be several months, and even on the lower end, a few weeks that people have spent in detention.
You detail a lot in your piece. What is the biggest takeaway you want readers and viewers to know from your reporting in this situation?
Yes, I think in most of the cases that I reviewed, the people who were being held had no criminal history, and in many cases had been in the U.S. for decades and had children and families who relied on them for income to afford food, and being in detention really put that in jeopardy for these families.
Rachel, thank you for your time.
Thank you.